All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. We go through Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel, so if that is content that you're interested in, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. We are at a critical point right now on the chart for Bitcoin. So I really want to dig into the Bitcoin chart, but first we will go through the Bitcoin miner big board. It was a red day really for equities today. The small caps did better than the large caps, but unfortunately the Bitcoin miners were, for the most part, red. So let's just start out by taking a look at the Bitcoin miner big board. At the moment, as we sit here, there's three things that look like they finished in green, but two of the three green numbers are 0.00%. So those were really even. HUT was the only Bitcoin miner that was green today. That was 1.69% up. Everything else was either zero or red. Nothing was too dramatically red. There were a couple that were a little bit heavy to the downside that I want to talk about. CleanSpark got punished again today, so that's down 6.29% on the day today. I think that was the worst out of all the Bitcoin miners. Stronghold was down 6.08% today. Argo Blockchain was down 6.37% today. So those were the three that were down 6% on the day. The one that was a little interesting is Iris Energy, stock ticker IREN. That was way down all day, 3%, 4%. And then really in the last hour of the day, it rallied all the way back up almost to zero. So I just thought that was interesting. It was one of the laggers all day, and it kind of finished above the pack. Looking at a couple of the largest Bitcoin miners, Riot and Marathon. Riot was down 2.38%, and Marathon was down 4.29%. So that was a pretty big move down for Marathon as well. But the takeaway here is it was mostly red, but it was a fairly calm day. Now remember, we had the merge overnight last night, so there was a massive amount of uncertainty, and we did not know what effect that was going to have on Ethereum, and we did not know what effect that was going to have on the cryptocurrency world in general. So it was, by all accounts, fairly tame in my opinion. I did do a separate video this morning. If you want to watch that, you can check it out on the channel. I did that on the Ethereum merge and all things Ethereum. I think it's worth a watch. This was one of the biggest events that's ever happened in cryptocurrency, and by and large, it seemed to go okay. Okay, let's jump over to the Bitcoin chart. This is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. So as always, you'll see an orange line where the equity markets closed yesterday. So Bitcoin was at around 19,955 when the equity markets closed. That was just a little bit above that pink line. You'll see this pink line has been my price target for this pullback that we've had. So that's the number we've been talking about for the last week. That's coming in at just under $19,900. So we closed a little bit above that yesterday. We stayed above that all night last night and into the morning. And after the equity markets opened in the US today, we had a little run here. These are 15-minute candles. So this is just a 1-hour run where we kind of drop down a little bit. So you'll see a little bit of extra volume down here on these candles, but nothing to write home about. But what is really important is this went below our line. So we have not confirmed that we're below the line yet. We have dipped below the line many times, and we're looking at the 15-minute time frame. So as we look at larger time frames, this is going to start to make more sense. But we are running out of time. What we don't want to do is, you can see as we bottomed out and we got as low as $19,500 exactly. We did come up, test this line, and for the moment there was a rejection here. So we went back down. Now it's all still very close. If you look at the move that it made from top to bottom back down, it was just about a 1% move, and now it seems to be headed back to this line. However, if we start bouncing off of this line, this was our target line of support. We do not want to bump into this 2 or 3 times and turn it into a line of resistance. So that's something that I think we are on the verge of. The next couple hours are going to be crucial. We're going to look at the 4-hour candles. That's a little bit more important. But if we start closing 4-hour candles below this line, that could spell the end of what I thought was going to be a nice relief rally. So I'm still saying that we're in the relief rally. We have not broken out of this yet, but we are certainly running the risk. The results of whatever happens here, I think, are going to be very crucial as to where we're headed over the next few days and weeks. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. So this gives us a little better perspective. You'll see we had this gigantic drop 2 days ago, and that was when the CPI data came out on Tuesday morning. So that was a massive drop. We dropped a couple of $1,000, but you can see we did catch ourselves right here at this line of support, which is just what we were hoping to do. And this line of support held up for over a day and a half. So you'll see this morning after the market opened, this 4-hour candle was a big red candle. It closed below this line of support. We then had another candle, which actually was a green candle, but it did open and close below our line of support. And now we're just starting another 4-hour candle. So what I would really like to see is for this 4-hour candle to move back above this line of support. If we get rejected here again and start heading back down, that's going to be somewhat of a strong signal that we may be turning this into a line of resistance. So I don't want to see that. And again, we have not confirmed that at all yet at this point. And as I look at a few other things, they lead me to believe that I think we are going to jump back above that line, but we won't know until we see. Okay, this is the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. This is one of the things that makes me believe we have not broken to the downside. Okay, so you can see we have an ascending line of support here that's been going on. This dates all the way back to August 19th. So any one indicator isn't going to give us the answer. And that's why I'm trying to look at a bunch of different things, and sometimes they're conflicting. You can see this looks like it's hanging on, which is pretty good. The Bitcoin chart itself is a little bit under our line of support, so we need a little help on that one. This is the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. So this has continued to move in the right direction since yesterday. So we had a bearish crossover with the CPI data. We then ran into some very large red candles, and they've been getting smaller and smaller. We're into the lighter candles, and they're much smaller candles now. And we may be moving towards a bullish crossover, but this is by no means confirmed. So we definitely in the last 24 hours have moved in the right direction on the MACD, and the histogram seems to be moving in the right direction as well, but this is not yet confirmed. So there's a bunch of things that are not confirmed yet. So we're really still very open as to whether or not we're going to hold this line of support. We seem to be getting a lot of indications that it looks like it's going to hold, but again, we don't know yet. Okay, here's Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame. So you'll see again, 2 days ago we had the CPI data. We had this gigantic red candle. The next day we had a very small green candle. We did candlewick below this line, our important line of support, just under 20,000 here, but we finished way above it. So yesterday's candle opened and closed well above our line of support. Today's candle opened above the line of support, but right now it is ever so slightly below this line of support. But on the daily time frame, you can really see, even if I zoom way in, you can see, we are within the margin of error here as to this line of support holding. So what I would like to see is that 4-hour candle and this 1-day candle. All we need to do is move up $100 or $200, and this will close above this line of support. So that's what I'm looking for. That's the number one. That is the first thing that I will be looking for. Now, if this daily candle does close $100 or $200 below the line of support, that certainly will not be a confirmation that we have failed. Then we're going to be looking at tomorrow's candle. That means tomorrow's candle will open below the line of support, and it has to get back above tomorrow, or that, in my mind, would be a confirmation that we have now turned this line of support just under $20,000 from support into potentially resistance. So you can see why I say we are right on the edge, and we are so close, because even zoomed in, this is just right there. We're at 19,828 and we need to get to 19,890. So that's $70 away. So obviously there's a bunch of time left. We're still well within the margin of error, but we are super, super close. I do want to follow up on this. So we've talked about this. This is the market's perception. This is the percent chance of what the rate hike is going to be next week when the Fed does their rate hike on Wednesday. So this had a dramatic change 2 days ago. We had a 90% chance of a 75 basis point increase, and we had a 10% chance of a 50 basis point increase. That is before the CPI data came out 2 days ago. Immediately thereafter, the 50 basis point scenario disappeared, and in its place came a 100 basis point scenario. So that got as high as 46%. At one point, 2 days ago, this was 54% at 75 basis points and 46% at 100 basis points. That is almost dead even. It has been inching further and further away from that. We're now today all the way back to 80% chance of a 75 basis point hike for the Fed. So this is crucially important because that is what the market, including the crypto market, has priced in. So this was everybody's expectation. There was a knee-jerk reaction and a little bit of a panic that there was going to be a 1-point hike, and we still can't take that off the table, but you can see in general people are thinking that's a smaller and smaller and smaller percent chance. So that 75 basis point raise next Wednesday is going to be important. I think that will allow this relief rally that I hope is still continuing to move on. If we do get a full 100 basis points, then I would expect that would end this relief rally that we're in. However, again, we do seem to be shifting back very strongly towards leaning towards 75 basis points, which is good news. Okay, lastly, a quick look at the fear and greed index. We did look at this yesterday. So again, we've moved from fear to fear, 27 to 28. So we were in extreme fear for a minute last week. We got as low as 20. These numbers were much, much, much lower when we were at our summer lows back in June. These were at historical low numbers. We had a week or a week and a half fluctuating between 6 and 10 on this range. This tends to lead toward the fact that we may still be in a little bit of a relief rally here. So I'm going to close out on the 15-minute time frame. You can see we're about $85 away from our line of support. So we do need a little bit of help. We need to get above this line, and you can see we did bump into and fail one time trying to get above this line. So again, these are only 15-minute candles. So this is a very short window of time, but it would be nice to get back above this. I would feel much more comfortable. We have spent the vast majority of our time with this line holding. We did drop below this back yesterday for a little bit as well. But today, this is a little bit longer period, and the longer this goes, the more percent chance there is that we may end up turning it into resistance. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. We will definitely check in tomorrow because it looks like we will have the answer to this question tomorrow. Okay, the last thing I want to point out is a few of these numbers did change on the big board. I don't know why that happens to me. This is supposed to be in real time, but HUT is now up 2.17%. Bitfarms did end up 1 penny, 0.79%, and DigiHost went green at 3.26%. So all in all, it's basically what we talked about, but just a little bit, a couple things moved a little bit into the green instead of just being straight red. This time it's for real. That's all I got for you today on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.